When I was growing up, we talked a lot about Martin Luther King Jr., but I'm realizing more and more as an adult that we just talked around in circles about the same few things, heard the same few stories and the same few quotes. But I mean, we all know,
injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
right? But how often do we hear,
We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly, affects all indirectly.
when you take just that first part, it flows off the tongue. It's a beautiful phrase. It's a statement. The second part, that's a call to action. Who you are is tied up in who I am, is tied up in who we all are together. When your pain is my pain and your joy is my joy. I mean, we've all heard the I Have a Dream speech, right? And it's inspiring. We want his vision of America to come true. Picture that future. Picture ourselves and our families in it. But there's this one part of the speech that I don't think I heard until I was in college. The part that goes like,
We have come to this hallowed land to remind America of the fierce urgency of now. Now is not the time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or the tranquilizing drug of grandulism. Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy.
and I hear that and I think, it's 2021, you know? We've made some progress, but not enough. So that's gradualism. It's like we took that tranquilizer, and some people want us to keep taking it over and over because actual real progress is scary. So, the title of this show is We the People Speak, No Justice, No Peace. And I've been thinking a lot about those words recently. Because what they mean to me isn't what they mean to my mom, and isn't what they mean to that kid in my math class, and isn't what they mean to Justice Ginsburg, and isn't what they mean to Donald Trump. MLK? He said,
True peace is not merely the absence of tension. It is the presence of justice.
so to him, the one who has us all tied up in the other, just like his vision of justice has us all tied up one in the other. To me, justice is more than just to be spoken into words. Like, I could be all high school valedictorian and whip out some Merriam-Webster shit, but that won't cut it. And peace is the same. Our directors asked us to write our personal definitions of justice and peace, and not a single one of us could do it in just one sentence.
Justice,
equality,
Justice
is fairness.
Fairness. It's equality and fairness when you or someone you know is wronged. The expectation of fairness.
Not the expectation that once again, people are going to get away with violence against bodies that look like mine.
Not the expectation that tomorrow and the next day and the day after that I'll turn on the TV and hear about another death and then hear,
He had a gun.
Why didn't she just listen?
He was on drugs.
How often do we hear,
Not guilty.
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 not guilty?
over and over and over again until I just want to scream and cry and shake people until we all just
Wake up!
Justice isn't that. Justice is all these big, huge, lofty words like
Righteousness.
Equity.
Inclusion.
Morality.
but it's also the small moments.
When my mom became a U.S. citizen.
When my sexist coworker was forced to admit what he had said and done.
When my local high school finally changed their racist mascot.
When you were chanting "No justice, no peace." Did you know what that meant?
When you were hashtagging "No justice, no peace," did you know what it meant?
Did you? Why? I don't know. But I know that there is no peace without justice. And I know that I will not stop until I figure it out. And I will not be silent. We the people must speak.
We the people.
We the people.
We know through painful experience that peace is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed.
We make the people speak. No justice, no peace.
Welcome aboard Ally Airlines, where your empty gestures get you where you need to go. As you enter the cabin, please store your personal baggage in any overhead bin you find available. No weight limit here in the performative class. Feel free to shove those bags on top of anyone. It's all about you here. Your stuff matters.
At this time, we ask that you take a moment to post that BLM hashtag, change your profile picture to a black square, and like that post about systemic racism without actually reading it. This lets all your followers know why you're here with us today. While you're at it, let's take a second to engage in that whataboutism we know you're so good at. Post that meme where you equate the actual, tangible harms of racism with that uncomfy feeling you get when you're called a racist. We'll wait. Our flight attendants will be around to help you pat yourself on the back for being just so woke.
We're expecting some mild turbulence on our flight today, but never fear. You can just close your windows, put on your headphones, and ignore those voices asking you to consider your complicity. What do they know anyway? If you feel for a moment that your vote...
right, girl. Like we always say, if you feel for a moment like your vote for Obama doesn't absolve you of constantly calling the cops on your neighbors, just have a snack and wait for that feeling to pass. If we should experience a more severe disturbance, please remember to do some serious self-examination and put your own mask on before attempting to correct, educate, or assist others.
Just kidding. With the size of your white savior complex, we know you could save this entire plane and the one from the other part of town currently taxiing behind us. Our flight today will last for approximately the length of that documentary you'll pretend to watch, while you really play on your phone for the duration, and will land right back where we started.
Thank you for joining us on Ally Airlines.
We'll never ask you to donate, protest, stand up to your racist uncle, call out your parents, or think critically about how you benefit from white supremacy.
Just keep doing what you're doing. You'll be just fine with us.
Well, I don't believe in systemic racism. I think the American system is the best system ever devised for mankind for history. We are liberty, we are equality, we are fairness. We have come a long way in this country now.
We shouldn't even be talking about this, people. We shouldn't even be discussing this. And I don't believe that there is racial discrimination going on. I absolutely don't. I did and was born and remember the 60s. And how far we've come since then. When I used to see on TV rioting going on with fire trucks and hoses and dogs and horses, I mean, it was a terrible time in our history. We have come leaps and bounds since then.
And I don't believe there's systemic racism in the U.S. I'm not going to go into a long riff on it.
All right, I'll be quick. This country that was once fundamentally racist, that believed that black people could be owned, elected twice a black man named Barack Hussein Obama. So tell me we're fundamentally racist.
But to sit here and tell and lie to people and say that we are in a horrible racist situation in this country, I'd have to ask, how did Obama get to where he is? How did these professional sports ever get to where they are? There's nobody standing in the way of anything in this country.
Have we any right to close our doors against one nation and open them to another? Has the Caucasian race any better right to occupy this country than the Mongolian? Yes, The greatest fundamental right of every nation is self-preservation, and the Chinese immigration question is nothing less than a battle for America's survival and future. A nation has a right to do everything that it can to secure it from threatening danger and to keep at a distance whatever is capable of causing its ruin. We have a great right to say to the half-civilized subject from Asia, you shall not come at all.
My mom arrived at 7:24, and then when she was on her way here, Mr. Trump was like, signed the paper and was like, nobody allowed to
enter this country from the seven countries, Muslim countries, which is she's already in the air when he signed the paper, and we've been waiting for her.
Where was your mom coming in from?
Iraq.
And then all we want is our mom. That's all we want.
And the decision came, and they were about to send her back.
Build that wall. 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 Build that wall.
3 generations of imbeciles are enough.
When they was delivering my son, they sterilized me at the same time. They had approached my grandmother and said that if she wanted to continue to receive supplement, welfare and food stamps, or at this time they was giving out these surplus foods, canned cheese, I think it was, powdered eggs, and said that if she did not sign the X, that they were going to stop her supplements. Mind you, my grandmother was illiterate. She had never, ever gone to school. She didn't understand what it was.
U.S. women of color have historically been the victims of forced sterilization. Some women were sterilized during cesarean sections and never told. Others were threatened with termination of welfare benefits or denial of medical care if they didn't consent to the procedure. Others received unnecessary hysterectomies at teaching hospitals as practice for medical residents. In the South, it was such a widespread practice that it had a euphemism: a Mississippi appendectomy.
Everybody he sees has a hysterectomy.
These immigrant women, I don't think
Just
they
about
really
everybody.
totally all the way understand this is what's going to happen depending on who explains it to them.
He's even taken out
I
the
felt
wrong
like they were
ovary
trying
on
to
a
mess
young
with
lady.
my body. I tried to explain to her that something isn't right. That procedure isn't for me.
She wound up with a total hysterectomy. She still wanted children. So she has to go back home now and tell her husband that she can't bear kids.
I had a federal government-issued photo ID, and the state of Ohio refused to allow me to vote with it. I had to have an ID issued by the state of Ohio. In Ohio, after gathering together my federal State Department-issued passport, my photocopy of my original birth certificate, my state-certified birth certificate, and my out-of-state driver's license, I had to produce my original Social Security card and then wait in line for over 2 hours before I could get a state ID to vote in Ohio. The closest spot was 10 miles away, and there was no public transportation between my place and the place to get the state ID. So if I didn't have a personal car or the money to take a taxi 20 miles round trip, I would have to walk 20 miles round trip. My point is how hard it is to get a state ID.
I've always went for early voting. I actually prefer early voting because I imagine the lines on voting day are so long, but I guess I was wrong this time.
How long did you wait yesterday?
Almost 10 hours.
The vote is the most powerful instrument ever devised by human beings for breaking down injustice and destroying the terrible walls which imprison people because they are different from others. Martin Luther King.
One of the moments is when George Floyd, if you watch the video, he cried out to his mother who had already passed. And I'm a mother of 3 Black young men. And to me, some people say you're voting for your life, and
and I'm voting for change in this country.
Racial discrimination in elections in Texas is no mere historical artifact.
It's a problem every year. So if that location is not working...
To the contrary, Texas has been found in violation of the Voting Rights Act in every redistricting cycle from and after 1970. Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Saying an excuse to allow the voter suppression to continue.
Do you think your vote will make a difference yesterday?
Yes, it will. Every vote will make a difference. I'm voting for change of that. I want to make this a better world for my children, for my children's children, and for anyone else around.
Let the people see what they did to my boy. Those words were like arrows sticking all over my body. My eyes were so full of tears until I couldn't see. And when I began to make the announcement that Emmett had been found and how he was found, the whole house began to scream and to cry. And that's when I realized that this was a load that I was going to have to carry. I wouldn't get any help carrying this load.
One of the jurors said, George Zimmerman got away with murder. People should not be allowed to get away with murder. I find it sad that I even have to say that.
My son was laying on the ground, and I tried to go for him. I was trying to charge the police, tried to get my son. But they told me to calm down. We are having some more issues in America, more issues than I can ever imagine. And the police killing unarmed citizens, majority black, and just killing Americans, period. All of us standing together and unifying. That would set an example for the government. Say, listen, look, we aren't going to take this anymore. America has a lot of work to do. I need to say that racism is a disease. You are not born with racism. You are taught racism. Let's start looking for cures for racism and other diseases, because that is a disease.
It is not that I dwell on the past, but the past shapes the way we are in the present and the way we will become what we are destined to become. It is only because I have finally understood the past, accepted it, embraced it, that I can fully live in the moment.
We shouldn't even be talking about
No, I do not.
We shouldn't
Elected
I don't believe in
twice
systemic
a black
racism.
man.
And I don't believe that there is.
I'm not going to go.
racial
So tell me we're
discrimination.
fundamentally
Absolutely
racist.
don't.
Build
I
that
did and
wall.
was born.
Build that wall.
And remember
Build
the
that
60s.
wall. Build
And
that
how far
wall.
we've come
Build
since
that
then.
wall.
Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, come on. One second. Go, baby, go. Yes!
Hey, did you hear? Where are you right now?
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. You know how I get at this point in the season.
Yeah, you're so damn antisocial. You all know we're all rooting for the
Well,
bird.
yeah, duh, obviously. I don't know. Plus, there's a whole going home after thing. You remember last year.
Who could forget? I mean, you honestly wouldn't know who won and who lost. People were like screaming in the streets and lighting cars on fire.
Exactly. I didn't feel like dealing with it this year.
That's fair. But, I mean, what if we win? You're not going to want to celebrate?
Honestly, I don't know if I'm going to want to celebrate us winning or just be mad at the fact that we got this close to losing. Like, it should not be this close.
I know, right? But, when there's a rookie on the court, it's always a toss-up. They're either going to screw everything up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why are rookies even a factor this late in the game? Like, you think there should be enough qualified people that they could put in.
Yeah. If only you were in charge.
Shut up. I'm just saying.
Sometimes, though, I don't know what to expect. Like, Will anything even change after tonight? Win or lose?
I don't know. I have everything riding on this. Like, we have to win. We have to win.
Okay, well, be quiet. It looks like they're going to announce it.
And tonight on CNN, we officially have a ruling coming down from the Supreme Court on the case involving
Okay, picture this. It's a hot July afternoon, summer of '05. Sierra's 1-2-step plays loud on somebody's speakers. Too loud. But nobody cares because it's a block party. And it truly is a party for the whole block. Imagine a group of brown-skinned kids running around, jumping rope, dancing to music, feeling safe. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, when the world gets a bit too loud, when the news gets a little too hard to read, when the boulder that sits firmly on my chest won't budge, no matter how hard I inhale, exhale. I picture that block party. I put on some Sierra. I go outside to feel the sun on my face. I try and capture that feeling of joy. A couple of years ago, while I was on my lunch break for a job I hated, I was scrolling through Instagram and I read something that has been taking up space in my brain rent-free for years. It says something along the lines of, to be Black and in America and alive and happy is to engage in a daily protest against the very system that seeks to oppress you. So much of this country was built on the backs of my ancestors. The blood of my grandmother, the tears of my grandfather covered generations. I've watched my mother and father fight for the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness some are just genetically blessed with. For a while, I picked up that baton and joined the race. But I'm tired. My feet hurt. My bones ache. And I need to rest. And that is a form of protest too, right? When the world is so intent on beating down my body, stripping me of my right to love myself, taking care of me becomes my most revolutionary act. Yesterday, I wanted to protest, so I sat outside and drank a cup of hot cocoa. And that was protest. I combed my daughter's hair and told her she was beautiful. And that was protest. I FaceTimed my big brother and told him I loved him and was proud to be his family. And that was protest. To be Black and happy. To be Black and unbothered. To be Black and loved. To be Black and alive. To be Black and spread joy. That is the radical protest I choose to engage in daily.
Okay, well, what if we talk to our representatives? You know,
No, you're not understanding. That's exactly what I said we shouldn't do.
Stop, okay?
No,
We're getting nowhere. If we keep talking over each other, we're never getting anything done. Now, I know we're all passionate about this, but let's try and remember we're not fighting the people in this room, okay? Okay, so I say the best way to get our message across is to take a protest we've already seen and reframe it. Let's take a knee.
Ugh, if you're so unhappy with what's going on in the country, then get out.
What?
I'm serious. What do you think taking a knee is going to accomplish?
It shows that we will not actively participate in the systemic racism that's going on right now. I just can't believe that.
Or is it really just another way for you to disrespect the flag, our troops, and this great nation?
Disrespect? What about police officers murdering innocent people and not being charged for it?
What does you taking a knee say to the police? Face it, it's just a pointless disruption that will go nowhere.
Well, what about a march? What? I'm serious. If they don't want our silence, let's make our voices heard. We can take to the streets and scream and make sure that we're heard. We will not be silent.
What is going around disturbing the peace going to do?
Disturbing the peace is what needs to happen. No justice, no peace.
Okay, white savior Barbie, take it down a notch. Come on, no justice? If you resist the police, there's consequences.
Yeah, you go to jail. You shouldn't lose your life.
Besides, marching through the streets is just another way to get more people injured or possibly killed. Are you ready to have that on your conscience?
Okay, what about boycotting businesses? If they don't want to listen to our voices, they'll listen to our wallets.
Oh, here we go. So what, you're just gonna stop buying stuff? Let's see how long that lasts.
It's not like that. We wouldn't just stop buying everything. We just spend our money in places that are actively engaged in opening spaces for marginalized voices.
And what are you going to do when you can't find something that you need close by?
Well, I think I would.
And you claim that this is about supporting your community. What about those people who work there? Are they not part of your community?
Well, of course they are, but you have to think.
So you are okay with making that company less money, which will then cause them to let some of their workers go? You're going to punish them for something they didn't even do.
It's not that simple. You don't understand.
Talk about injustice. More like hypocrites.
Okay, well, what if we petition for change? You know, we all use our collective brains to write legislation that will fix our corrupt system and demand justice. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but with the right people, we can make a difference. We write it, we canvass, we get people to sign, and we demand change.
Who do you think you are? Alexander Hamilton? You're just gonna write some stuff and poof, it becomes a law?
No, but I'm a person, I'm a citizen actually, that's governed by the laws that are supposed to be written for the people, by the people. So if it's not working, then the laws have to change.
And what makes you more qualified than the people whose job it is to actually do this?
So if we can't petition,
then we can't boycott.
And marching isn't the right way.
And taking a knee won't solve anything?
Then what is the right way to protest?
I'm angry.
I'm pissed off.
I'm enraged.
I see y'all are back to your old tricks again.
It ain't no surprise. Home of the free to kill whoever you please.
To be born black, to be woman, is to live with the target tattooed on your forehead.
Heart.
Neck.
Everywhere.
For my sister Sandra, I speak these words to honor you, Queen. Taken from this world too soon. Remember when Black women weren't even allowed peace to move? My sister, we watched perched above in the sky as you took your last breath, and we collectively felt our lungs tighten, unable to move, immobilized. We honor your life for what could have been, for all that we lost. Sandra, they took your well-deserved anger and channeled it into reasons for your murder.
Well, if she wasn't so belligerent, she might still be alive.
Well, what do you think's going to happen when you disrespect authority?
I call upon your anger and decree your rage as a natural response. I honor you. I honor Kaylee Moore. Remember when the world said to be Black and to be born is to be criminal? They looked at your skin, at your addiction, and said deathly force was necessary, as if you were not worthy of care, of compassion. They entered your home for a wellness check and robbed you of a life.
America's favorite magic trick. First she's well, now she's gone.
I'm angry.
If another one of my sisters gets shot in her bed,
how many more conversations do I have to have with my child about the police?
Mia Green, My sweet, sweet sister, I say your name and lift you up. May the angels wrap their wings around your soul, protecting you in the afterlife in ways they could not when you walked this earth. Mia, we speak your name and spit forth the bitter rage we felt since your life was stolen from us by those who swore to protect and serve. Mia.
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 We say Mia with intention, with purpose. Sometimes this world isn't satisfied with killing our sisters once. They feel the need to flay the dead, speaking names you haven't answered to since you found yourself. When you died, we felt our hearts fight to escape our chest. Those who loved you mourned you openly.
Her smile was so perfect, so contagious. She made me laugh.
We miss that laughter. We chant your name and channel our anger into a cry for justice.
I'm pissed off.
I don't know how much more of this my heart can take.
7 years old. 7. Ayanna Stanley Jones, we speak your name, little sister. We remember you for those who would sweep your name under the rug and choose to forget you from our collective memory. Did they think a settlement would erase the loss we felt when their grenade found its way into your home? Ayanna Stanley Jones, you'd be turning 18 years old, getting ready to graduate, go to college, but your light was diminished before you even had the chance to fully shine.
My sisters are tired of giving birth to statistics.
Of seeing hashtag after hashtag when we look into the eyes of our babies.
Brianna, we speak your name.
Mia, we mourn you.
Sandra, we speak your name.
Ayanna, we mourn you.
Kayla, we speak your name.
Tanisha, we mourn you.
To our sisters who still have control over their own breath, we now speak directly to you.
Don't let this world tell you when your anger is too much.
When they call you an angry Black woman, you say yes.
We are angry.
We are Black.
And we are women.
And we will not be silenced.
Not anymore.
We the people. We the people. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
More perfect. What a nice idea. Too bad that version of perfect only counted me as 3/5 of a person.
Establish justice.
Wait, justice? Justice for who? I don't think...
Ensure domestic tranquility.
Domestic tranquility? What does that even mean? We've never had that.
Provide for the common defense.
And promote the general welfare. And ensure the blessing
This
of liberty
is stolen land.
Posterity do ordain and establish this Constitution
for
of
the
the
United
States
of America.
We the people.
We the people didn't count.
We the people were not those they were writing about.
We the people were separate without the equal.
We the people couldn't vote until 1965, and we still have to deal with voter suppression.
We the people could still legally be sexually assaulted by a spouse until 1993. And many still get away with it now.
We the people couldn't marry until 2015 and fear for that right at the hands of a conservative court.
So who the hell is we anyway?
We will no longer tolerate being silenced. Our eyes are open. Our fists are raised. And so are our voices.
We will live our joy.
We will not merely be allies. We will be accomplices.
We will speak with many voices.
We will hold those in power accountable.
We will learn from our collective past
and fight for our
collective future.
We will not allow
atrocities to be committed in our names.
We will remember their stories.
We will let their memory be a revolution.
We the people. We all
the people.
Not the sum of the past.
We the people speak.
We the people
We the
speak.
people speak.
We the people speak. We the people speak.
We the people speak.
We the people speak.
No justice, no peace. 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 No justice, no peace.